Right. Well, in the last few minutes, the General Prosecutor's Office, in an interview with a Russian TV station, has confirmed that this is a terror attack. That they've said that they make that public because it's going to make it easier to deal with the repercussions and the security measures that are going to be needed to put in place. Now, the Russian news agency Interfax, citing security sources, has said that the device that exploded, which may have been put in a suitcase, was 200 grams of explosives, so not a huge device. The security services are saying that this was most likely a homemade made device that was carried onto the metro, despite the significant security measures that have been put in place in the St. Petersburg and the Moscow metro systems over the last couple of years.
Thomas, do we have any information yet on the victims?
Very little about individuals. What we know is that, it's widely reported from Russian media sources that 50 people were injured. 25 of those we know, according to hospitals in St. Petersburg, have been taken to hospital with injuries. We're told that 10 people have been killed. That's not a final confirmed number. Emergency crews are on the scene. Ambulances, police, fire engine, firemen have been down into the metro as well. Everybody was very quickly evacuated from that area, and certainly all the metro stations in St. Petersburg are shut now as we speak. Certainly scenes of chaos in St. Petersburg at the moment, where the transport system has come to a complete standstill. The buses aren't moving. The metro has been completely closed. Roads have been blocked off. This, obviously, a complete shock to the city and to Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, who's meeting with his Belarusian counterpart, Alexander Lukashenko, right now in St. Petersburg.
What can you tell us about the area affected? Would this have been a busy time for the metro mid-afternoon in St. Petersburg?
Well, it's not peak hour. It's not peak hour, but there would have been a lot of people in the metro. The peak hour, both in St. Petersburg and Moscow, is sort of from 8 till 10 in the morning, when people are going to work, and when they're coming back home between, say, 6 and 8 p.m. 8 p.m. at night. I mean, but the St. Petersburg metro is typically packed. When I was up there about a month or so ago, it's really quite a confined space, a confined metro station, and it does feel typically like there are lots and lots of people in there. The images that have come out and been posted on Twitter and Facebook, videos as well, show that it wasn't absolutely packed at the time of this explosion. It showed a lot of smoke. It showed people leaning through the windows of the wagon of the metro that was affected. It was the third wagon along on that metro train. Apparently the blast didn't severely impact on the wagons on either side of it, and that would suggest that despite the pictures of twisted metal and the shattered doors, that the blast wasn't perhaps as powerful as first thought.
Thomas, like you say, the entire network has been shut down, so obviously that's affecting a lot of people there in St. Petersburg. Also, extra security measures introduced, not just in St. Petersburg, but I understand also where you are. Any information on the specifics of what measures have been introduced exactly?
Well, that's right. I mean, the Moscow metro is still open. I haven't been into the metro in the last hour or so. I couldn't tell you exactly what measures are being taken. But what typically happens in a scare of this size is that the police are mobilized, the special forces are mobilized, and they will most certainly be at the entrance to the metro stations in the center of the city, and there will certainly be a very large contingent around the key metro stations, the ones where there'll be lots of tourists, the ones near Red Square, near the Kremlin, near key monuments in the city. Of course, we're coming up to peak hour now, so the authorities are going to clearly be very, very nervous about some kind of a repeat attack in other cities across Russia, and they will certainly be taking be taking the necessary precautions to avoid that from happening.
All right. Thanks very much for bringing us up to date, Thomas. Thomas Lowe reporting.